Welcome to Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Tonight, Columbia, Missouri, the two hottest teams in the SEC. The Missouri Tigers, and back inside the top 25, number 21, Texas A&M, alongside Sean Farnham. I'm Richard Cross. Glad to have you along from Mizzou Arena. Sean, a pair of teams that are both coming in with four-game win streaks.
Yeah, peaking at the right time. The calendar has turned to February, and A&M has found itself. And TJ Starks has been a big part of that, but so has been the resurgence of Robert Williams and the interior presence. They have reestablished who they are and their identity. Meanwhile, for Missouri, the big shot by Kevin Puryear preserved their three-game win streak and turned it into four. And Coach Cuonzo Martin, in his first season here, would be the SEC Coach of the Year if it wasn't for the guy down on the plains in Bruce Pearl and Auburn and the way that the Tigers have played.
Auburn right now by Joe Lunardi, projected as a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Both the Aggies and the Tigers currently in fact, 8 SEC teams projected to be in the big dance. Mississippi State in the conversation. Glad to have you along tonight. TJ Starks, Admon Gilder, DJ Hogue, Rob Williams, and Tyler Davis start things off for the Aggies, who are in maroon on the road tonight. Rob Williams jumps for Texas A&M. Jeremiah Tillman for Missouri. Robertson, Cullen Van Leer, Jordan Barnett, Tillman, and Kevin Puryear, the starters for Missouri at home in white. TJ Starks fires a three. Offensive rebound and a putback for Robert Williams.
Yeah, Robert Williams' length and his timing right now, he has really reestablished himself as a dominating presence 5 feet and in. I think at the start of this season, he started trying to prove to people other aspects of his game instead of staying true to who he was. And over the last month or so, he's been fantastic. The most dominating post presence in the conference.
Rebounding will be an interesting story to watch. Texas A&M, the top rebounding team in the SEC. Meanwhile, Missouri allows the fewest by opponents this season. There's a three from the wing for Jordan Barnett.
Well, you allow Jordan Barnett to catch and shoot. And again, both made baskets are coming off of offensive rebounds. Neither team shored up their first possession defense, leading to the second chance point.
Tyler Davis doubled. Davis with the soft touch. Second meeting this year between Missouri and Texas A&M. The Aggies won 60-49. Kind of a slow pace in that game, and both coaches today thought that the pace tonight might be a little faster.
And a big part of that is TJ Starks and A&M. I mean, they have been pushing the pace. Think about this. They had 49 points in the first half of their win against South Carolina.
Cassius Robertson shoots an air ball. It comes up with a steal. Barnett. And then the Aggies turn it over. Trying to go outlet pass a couple of trips in a row.
2 unforced errors out in transition for Billy Kennedy. That's one of the things that's going to drive him nuts. Turnovers have been the biggest problem offensively for A&M. Once they get their half-court set, they know exactly who they are and how they want to play. But the last 2 seasons in particular, there's been far too many turnovers that have just broken the back of the Aggies.
A year that's been a challenge for Billy Kennedy and Texas A&M. Started league play 0-5. They've had to deal with suspensions, off-the-court issues, injuries. Texas A&M hitting its stride, though, in February and hoping to carry that momentum into March. Scoop by Gilder won't go, but Williams runs it down.
How active has Robert Williams been already in this game? Tracking that one down to midcourt. I think he's already got 4 rebounds in this game.
Robert Williams, the sophomore from Oil City, Louisiana. Step back won't go, but an offensive rebound for Tyler Davis. Davis wanted it back inside.
What a great pass by Tyler Davis. That's one of the most underrated aspects of Tyler Davis's game is his big-on-big interior passing. Floor spacing, knowing where the double team is coming from, and delivering a dime to Robert Williams.
Cassius Robertson on the drive, draws the foul. He's got free throws coming up.
A good job offensively for A&M, having awareness of where the double team is coming from. As Porter comes, you know it's a big-on-big double. That means Williams has got the size advantage. Put it into where he can catch it, and only he can get it.
Rare miss from the free throw line for Cassius Robertson. 84% on the year. He's fifth best in the SEC. Cassius Robertson sitting on back-to-back SEC Player of the Week awards.
And he's been as outstanding as any player in the conference as of late. You think about the last 6 games, averaging 21 points per contest.
Starks gets the roll. Aggies push it back out to a 4-point lead.
I love the way he gets the middle of the floor, utilizes shot fakes, get his feet set underneath him, elevates up the defender, and able to finish.
Missouri got into its bench early. Jordan Geis has come into the game. Jonte Porter has come into the game. Reed Nico as well. We've got our first officials timeout. A 4-point lead for Texas A&M. Michael Porter Jr. has been out since the season opener, but he's smiling. Why? Could he be coming back?
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile.
Aggies with an early 4-point lead over the Missouri Tigers tonight at Mizzou Arena. Both teams riding a 4-game winning streak coming into this ball game. Alongside Sean Farnham, Richard Cross, glad to have you along on this Tuesday night in the SEC. Sean, there haven't been many questions recently on the floor for Missouri. But there's been a big question off the floor, especially in the last couple of weeks, and that's, will Michael Porter Jr. rejoin this team in a uniform?
That's been a question?
I've heard it a time or two.
Yeah, you know, of course, he has the press conference. He says he would like to come back and like to play. We talked to Coach Martin about it today. He said, look, he's got to get cleared for full contact. He's got to be able to go through practices. He looked really good out on the floor before the game tonight. Before everybody came in, he was exploding to the rim. He was smiling. He was knocking down shots. But there's a difference when you're out on the floor and you're getting banged. And then the other aspect of it is this. He's going to have to matriculate in and not disrupt the overall flow of this Missouri Tigers offense, which has been very motion-based without Michael Porter. And he would have to adjust to them. The team doesn't have to adjust to him coming in. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of decisions still to be made. I hope he comes back. It would be great to see him.
Missouri, before jumping into this 4-game win streak, had lost 3 in a row, but it feels like they've kind of found something as a team over the last couple of weeks, and in the NCAA tournament field, or at least projected to be. And that's the thing, you love the idea of bringing a dynamic player back into your lineup. It could be a potential game changer, but when you got something good going, you're a little careful about messing up that chemistry.
Messing up the chemistry, and it's not just an offensive chemistry, it's the defensive chemistry. A slow start right now offensively for the Tigers. They've got 2 turnovers, just 1 for 5 shooting.
Jordan Geis pushes it up the floor. Inside, Jonte Porter, ball fake, finds some room, dumps it off to Nico. There it comes up empty.
That's the Robert Williams effect right there. I mean, Jonte Porter turned around and saw 4-4 standing in front of him, was like, no, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and dump that one off. And Coach Martin has built a really good foundation to this program. And he took what Kim Anderson had left and molded it with some of the new pieces that he's had. He's had some turnover this year. Both these coaches have dealt with tremendous amount of turnover, in particular at the point guard position. Blake Harris, C.J. Roberts, And obviously Terrence Phillips right now, it's really light at the point guard play, but what you have seen is you've seen a collective group and an intensity at the defensive end of the floor. They know clearly how they're going to win games, and it comes through defense. And those are the teams for Coach Martin that have had the most success over his coaching tenure.
Shot clock at 5. Starks, being guarded by Purrier, steps back. Ball was touched last by Texas A&M, and so a good defensive possession that time for Missouri. You talk about Cuonzo Martin. You see Billy Kennedy there as well, but Cuonzo Martin, 3 years with his previous 3 coaching stops. At Missouri State, then at Tennessee, then at Cal for the last 3 years. Feels like this is a spot where he could kind of settle for a while.
Yeah, and I think he will. I mean, he's already doing a great job recruiting, and it's going to only continue to grow. And his coaching staff has a clear understanding of what he is and the type of players that flourish underneath him.
DJ Hogue on the drive with the reverse.
And DJ Hogue starting to come back and find himself. That's been huge for A&M. Coming off of a double-double last time out. Largest lead of the game right now for the Aggies. But he's playing much more engaged than he was even 3 weeks ago.
Cassius Robertson pulls up for a 3 and it rims out. He's missed his first 3 shots. He's been red hot as of late. Was 1 of 11 against Texas A&M in the first meeting. Now on the rebound there by Tyler Davis, and so Missouri steals an offensive possession.
That was a good, clean look. He did a great job rejecting the screen and then spacing out to find that clear space, just unable to knock down the shot, and then the touch foul underneath.
Missouri, one of its first 8 shooting. Tillman left it short.
Too much hesitation that time for Tillman. Should have just gone up right away. If you have to think about your shot, it's not a good shot to take.
Hogue for 3. Chris Collins guarding Jordan Geist. Collins expected to get more minutes tonight because Texas A&M really in their backcourt short on bodies. Wayne Wilson out for the year with a second knee injury, happened against Kentucky on Saturday night. A suspension and a dismissal this week as well.
That poor defensive awareness right time by Tyler Davis, had his back to the ball, allowed that seam to open up, and a good job attacking.
Billy Kennedy announced on Sunday that J.J. Caldwell has been dismissed from the team. Turnover there on Texas A&M. Multiple violations of team rules throughout the course of the season. Just kind of got to the point where you had to move on, and J.J. Chandler has been suspended indefinitely. I think the expectation around the program is that he will be able to rejoin the team.
Yeah, I hope so. He's having a pretty good freshman year, and it's been his first infraction. Comparatively speaking to J.J. Chandler, who just didn't understand the opportunity that was there in front of him. Former top 100 recruit, had to sit out of all of last season. The keys to the car were sitting there for him to pick up this year and really be the lead guard, and he never answered the call. Suspended multiple times this season before this last transgression.
A couple of buckets in a row for Missouri. This time Kevin Purrier on the baseline. 2-point game.
This is the thing about Missouri. They can have a slow start like this, and they don't get rattled, because they know that their defense is going to allow them the opportunity to get back into the game.
Hogue gets into the lane, dumps it off, finds Trosha Morelos. Barnett with the rebound. Tillman working against
Davis. That's a foul on
Davis. By the freshman Jeremiah Tillman out of East St. Louis ties the game up. Chance to get Missouri.
Look, when Tillman isn't in foul trouble, he's out on the floor. Missouri's a better offensive team. They're certainly a better defense team. But offensively, you can play through him. He's been in foul trouble. This time he's putting the foul trouble on Tyler Davis. He's got a chance to give him the lead.
Imagine if ESPN's wires somehow got crossed. If it's hoops, they'd get crossed over, right? 16 voices, 8 analysts, 4 games, 2 levels, 1 night. It's the NBA NCAA crossover.
Not a bad way to spend your Valentine's night. You got the SEC matchup in there with Kentucky on the road against the Auburn Tigers. That's at 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Auburn leading the SEC. 2-game cushion over both Tennessee and Florida. And the Auburn Tigers a 10-point favorite at home tomorrow night against Kentucky.
The Tigers lost without Bryce Brown. Now, they're going to need Bryce Brown back for that game, but they lost without Bryce Brown to this A&M team by 1. I was there last Saturday for it. Bruce Pearl's done a tremendous job with that team. Their guard play, when you look at Harper and Herron and Brown in particular, that trio is a big reason for why they've been able to overcome so much this season. It would have been easy for the Auburn Tigers to just fold up tent at the start of the year and everything that was going on with the ongoing FBI investigation, losing 2 of your top 3 players. But instead, that group and the guys that are there, they've been dialed in and as focused as any team. Down 17 doesn't matter. They're coming and fighting right back. They did against Ole Miss earlier on this season. And by the way, mentioning Ole Miss, it was announced yesterday, I know you know it, Andy Kennedy will be stepping down at the end of the season as the Rebels head coach. AK is one of the best guys in this conference. He's going to be sorely missed by all of us that work in the television industry, and took a program that really had marginal success at best and brought it to relevance.
All tipped in inside by DJ Hogue. Andy Kennedy, all-time winningest coach at Ole Miss. They won the 2013 SEC tournament title, couple of trips to the NCAA tournament.
And he gave us Marshall Henderson and Stephon Moody.
A couple pretty good guards in the SEC in the last 5 years. Barnett. That's 4 makes in a row for Missouri.
And you notice Barnett, you can't let him catch and shoot. The scouting report tells you, you give Barnett time and you let him just catch the ball and go straight up into a shot. More often than not, it's going through.
Savion Flagg, top of the key, buries it. Long 2.
Good offensive game between these two teams that are so defensively minded, amongst the best defenses in the country.
Cassius Robertson has not been able to get going yet for Missouri.
Missed an opportunity. Barnett was coming off of a flex cut on the baseline. He was wide open. The defense did not communicate it well for Texas A&M.
Guys off the mark with the 3, and then a foul on Nico on the rebound. On Thursday night on ESPN, we've got a Pac-12 showdown for you. Number 17, Arizona. Number 25, Arizona State. The Wildcats and the Sun Devils. 9 on the East Coast, 6 out west. It's also available streaming live on the ESPN app. Arizona, after that rocky start to the year, have been really pretty good. 20-6 overall, 10 wins already in Pac-12 play.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton, a huge difference maker. If you haven't seen him play, watch him, because he's not going to be around the college game that long. And then you look at Bobby Hurley's team. They've struggled against the Wildcats. Trey Holder is the key. Their guards are the key. But Trey Holder in particular has had such a phenomenal season. Hit the game-winning shot over USC last Thursday. And for them right now, those 2 teams, they're safe in the field. The rest of the Pac-12 is a mess. You think Washington is going to be a team that's going to easily get in. They lose 2 on the Oregon Trail. They get completely lost up there. And then UCLA beats Arizona at Arizona and then comes back and loses to Arizona State. So a lack of consistency throughout the Pac-12.
A lot of sleepless nights for the head coaches out west when you talk about the bubble. That last 4 in, first 4 out.
And that's what makes what we're seeing right now. These are the 2 hottest teams in the SEC right now.
Right.
Longest win streak in the conference for both of them at 4. You want to peak at the right time. You want to be consistent. You want to have a clear identity of who you are as a basketball program as you get through the middle portion of February and get ready for your conference tournament. And for both of these programs right now, their vision is on a top 4 finish in the SEC. So when you get to St. Louis, you have that bye all the way through to Friday.
Dante Porter off the mark. 14 apiece for the Aggies and the Tigers. 8.5 minutes to play in this first half. Neither team shooting it great so far. Both under 40% for the game.
Uh-oh.
Robert Williams, it's not really a huge part of his game. Williams is 0 of 9 from behind the arc this season. Admon Gilder, that's 2 backboard only three-point shots that possession.
Not pretty at all.
Trosha Morelos fouls Jeremiah Tillman. Strong move to the rim by Tillman. Takes us to a timeout. 7:55 left in the first half. We're all square. If you love basketball, you're going to love the Valentine's edition of the Crossover. That's tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN2. Just like last year, our college announcers are going to jump to the NBA. The NBA guys are coming back to college. QB Brown and Jay Billis on Virginia Tech and Duke at 7 Eastern on ESPN2. Mark Jackson and Dickie V have got the Clippers and the Celtics on ESPN. PJ Carlesimo, Dan Dockich get Kentucky at number 10 Auburn. And Doris Burke teams up with Bill Walton for the Warriors and the Trailblazers. The college basketball NBA crossover, ESPN, ESPN2, and the ESPN app.
Good luck, Doris.
Nothing else needs to be said, does it?
Nope. I can't wait. It's can't miss television. Here's what I can't wait to see. If A&M's going to figure out the fact they're 0 for 6 from beyond the arc and they shoot 50% inside the arc. Nope. Didn't figure that out.
Not on that trip, but there is a foul on the rebound try. Jonte Porter picks up his first.
I mean, they're settling right now. 0 for 7. I started this game talking about a clear identity of who they are, right? Robert Williams is 2 of 4. Tyler Davis is 1 of 1. Now, Davis is on the bench, Williams is on the bench, but you can still play underneath. You can still play by attacking, getting a piece of the paint. They're not the only ones that have scored, obviously, they made field goals for the team. But settling from beyond the arc is not really the best option for this A&M team against this defense.
Rare appearance in Texas A&M's lineup for Isaiah Jacey. He's number 15.
He's going to be really good.
He's played in just 10 games this year. A&M turns it over.
Missouri's done a really good job. They are 4 for their last 6 field goals.
The fourth turnover of the game by the Aggies. Porter off the mark with the 3. Texas A&M 39% field goal percentage. Missouri 40%. The field goal defense percentages you were seeing. Stifling for their opponents. Cassius Robertson still looking for his first make of the night. Trosha Morelos tries another 3, and again he's off the mark. Aggies 0 of 8 from deep.
If you're Missouri, just keep letting them shoot threes, right? I mean, contest them. They're not like they're wide open threes. They're not necessarily heavily contested shots. Let them settle from beyond the arc and just evaporate the paint. Don't allow them to get second chance points opportunities. Don't allow them to utilize their size to be able to finish at the iron.
Shot clock inside 5. Porter shoots an air ball. You can talk about good defense all you want,
but
it's
offense
bad offense right now.
It's bad offense. Did you say today's Fat Tuesday, right? Is that what you were talking about earlier?
Yeah.
You want to go get into that? Are we already at that material?
I don't know if there's any plan to throw beads. They shot T-shirts a little while ago.
You had to explain to me what Fat Tuesday was.
Clock inside 5. Gilder.
I know what a missed shot is. I've seen a bunch of those.
Geist gets into the lane, dumps it off. Foul on Tony Trosha Morelos. Free throws coming up for Kevin Purrier.
When you're aggressive and you attack the defense and you don't settle from beyond the arc, what happens is you start rotating the defense, shifting the defense. If you can get 2 guys to guard the ball, that obviously means somebody's open. And a lot of times on drives, the rotation comes from where? The back line. So you look at the other big or somebody that's working that baseline that can cut to the rim and try to manufacture an opportunity to score. And that's what Geist did there. It was a good play by Geist to set up Purrier.
Robert Williams, DJ Hogue, and Chris Collins back into the game for Texas A&M. Jordan Barnett, Jeremiah Tillman back into the game for Missouri.
Unlikely we're going to see Tyler Davis for any time, as he's got 2 fouls, so he'll be sitting on the bench. Limited to only 8 minutes of action so far.
Admon Gilder trying to feed it inside. Texas A&M turns it over.
Low value of the basketball so far by the Aggies. Gilder 2 turnovers in the last 3 possessions for A&M.
Feed inside. That's high percentage for Jeremiah Tillman.
And Geist again is the guy that sets the table. It's a great post-entry feed that allows Tillman to just step right into the rim.
4-point lead for Missouri is their biggest. Hogue with a hand in his face. Aggies can't buy one from deep. Barnett all the way to the rim.
Billy Kennedy needs a timeout. Well, DJ Hogue didn't sprint back. He missed the shot and stood and watched, and the guy that was defending him ran out in front of him, able to finish. Missouri's on a run. They're more aggressive. They're playing cleaner. They're up by 6.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with Kay.
Conzo Martin's Missouri Tigers on a 6-0 run. They've got their biggest lead of the game, up 20-14 with 4:22 to go in the first half. Good offense for the Tigers.
As Geist gets the ball, look where he is on the outside. He's got to recognize where the target hand is for Tillman. Tillman does a nice job showing the target hand. You've got to slide over and deliver a pass to the target hand, so as he gathers, there's no help side. There's nothing you can do except for just watch Tillman get up into the iron. And the big fella, the freshman, doing a great job carving out space. But Geist's delivery of the basketball was perfect. That's synergy that you want to see between your guard and your big.
And Sean, meanwhile, Texas A&M 0 for their last 9, but that includes 0 of 6 from behind the arc. Kind of goes back to your point earlier about settling for shots from the perimeter.
Yeah, and not only are you just settling for shots from the perimeter, then you're turning the ball over as well. When's the last time you saw a post touch for Robert Williams? We've seen a lot of missed threes. You come out of a timeout, and I promise you Billy Kennedy's saying, guys, stop settling for perimeter shots. And the first thing you do if you're Admon Gilder is shoot a 3. Now, you're lucky because DJ Hogue was there, but you've got to be able to get the ball down low. Who's the biggest and baddest dude out on the court?
It's got to be Robert Williams, right?
Yeah, might want to get him the ball. Although right now it's looking like Jeremiah Tillman.
Ball fake went up and under, just didn't finish.
He went away from the contact. He should have just gone right up through.
Robertson gets the steal. He'll go right
That's
at
offensive foul.
Hogue, and he lays it in.
That should have been an offensive foul.
Kind of extended that left arm.
He extended his left arm out and pushed DJ Hogue right off of him.
First points of the game for Cassius Robertson. Good chance if you're watching a Missouri game, you're going to see him on the floor. In SEC games, playing over 38 minutes a game. Gilder on the floater.
Turn down the outside shot. Try to see if you can get to the logo. See if you can get to the paint. Try to make something positive happen if you're Texas A&M.
First points of the game for Admon Gilder, averaging almost 12 per contest.
Well, in this zone right now, they're a little high in their back line, and so they're a little late in their rotations. That's giving Tillman that spot. You saw that developing. I'm sitting over here. Their rotation on their back line is slow, so it's giving up the inside position the last 2 possessions to Missouri. So a missed shot there ends up with an offensive rebound and a finish.
Cross-court pass. Collins fires a 3. He's short. Barnett open in the corner. There's a three.
Finally, a three rattles in for A&M.
Big answer as this Missouri crowd had come to life. Cuts the lead back to 6. Inside, Purrier, extra pass. Tillman missed the bunny. Robert Williams going to try another three. He has not made one this year. He's 0 for 10 on the season.
Settling. You're just settling. It's a bad shot. It's essentially a turnover. You're giving the ball to your opponent.
But as good a player as Robert Williams is, that's just not part of his repertoire at this point.
And it's not what he's been doing over the last 5 games that has made him so good. The back line of defense is lost again. That's just a bad pass by Geist.
He saw Purrier down low, but airmailed it into the Zoo crew.
But watch this. As the ball gets swung down into the high post, they get step up. Look where Robert Williams is. He's going to be on the back of Tillman underneath. You've already lost. You have no rebounding position whatsoever. Tillman is too big. He gets the offensive rebound and puts it back in. If you're Robert Williams, you've got to sprint with purpose, work your feet around him, and then put a body into him and back him out.
Hogue trying to pass into traffic, ends up getting it back. Officials have allowed these two teams to play.
I like it. I mean, they're consistent. It's not like they're inconsistent. They're allowing them to go back and forth. You've got to like that a little bit. And if you're Missouri right now, a couple of things that you like is their execution, their patience in particular against the zone, and they maintain a 6-point lead.
Back in Columbia, Missouri. Missouri up 6 on Texas A&M. Coming up, hope you'll stay with us at halftime. The halftime report. We'll hear from Joe Lunardi, a little bracketology. SEC flavor to that, with 8 SEC teams currently projected in the field.
Could be a historic season, and most they've ever had is 6.
Right.
And that is a byproduct of a commitment from Birmingham, Alabama, that has permeated throughout each university to make the hires of the coaches they have. Cuonzo Martin being one of them. Making the right hire at the right time to change a culture and a belief.
Shot clock off, inside 10 seconds until the hot half. Geist finds Jontay Porter, step back from the elbow.
That was a well-played finish to the first half for Missouri. And for A&M, you go back and you say, okay, we withstood a long period of time without Tyler Davis back out on the floor. You see the value of what he brings because they lost their identity without him.
Missouri has not lost at home this year when leading at the half. They are up 29-21 over Texas A&M, trying to split this season series. Let's take it to the studio. Halftime report coming up next.
Who's your celebrity crush on right now?
Celebrity crush.
Jennifer Lawrence.
Cameron Diaz. Zendaya.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
Selena Gomez.
Beyonce.
Blake Lively.
Beyonce. Megan Good.
And I have the biggest crush on Zendaya.
If you haven't gotten your Valentine's Day shopping done yet, you got a little while longer. Got a little while longer till the start of the second half. Missouri up 8 at the break over number 21, Texas A&M. Back to Mizzou Arena after this. Welcome back to Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. Halftime at Mizzou Arena. A little bit different script than when these two teams met in College Station. The Aggies led it 29-20 over Missouri. Today it's 29-21. Missouri leading it over Texas A&M. Sean Farnham, Richard Cross. Not a lot of great offense in the first half.
No, we've had some turnovers, just like you dropping your pen here. But we were able to fix it, and you got your pen back, and maybe A&M will find their offense in the second half. But for Missouri, I think they're really happy with the way how the half ended, in particular with Barnett and Tillman. The two of them, they were able to find space out on the floor and execute the way that you would want. The numbers tell you the story. A&M settled from beyond the arc. They weren't aggressive. They weren't attacking. They allowed the defense of Missouri to push them further and further away from the basket.
That's your game track brought to you by Taco Bell. Because A&M settled, as you talked about, from the perimeter, no free throw attempts in the first half for the Aggies.
That's amazing when you think about Tyler Davis and Robert Williams. Now, Tyler Davis was only limited to 8 minutes. He can play free now. He's got 2 fouls. He should be able to go. Let's see if that makes a difference.
On DJ Hogue, Lonzo Martin.
And that's going to be a foul on Robert Williams. If you're Billy Kennedy, though, you know what? You love that. Because at least he's playing hard. He's playing with some passion right there. He's trying to make a play. Just balance was not there.
Early part of this ball game, you talked about Robert Williams, a lot of energy, but then he kind of disappeared for the last 10 minutes or so of that first half.
Those last 2 shots were both 3-point shots. Meanwhile, it's again, stay true to who you are. Know who you are. Play to your strengths.
Jordan Barnett, deep three, off the mark, but an offensive rebound by Tillman, and he turns around right over the top of the shot blocker, Robert Williams.
The biggest stat of the first half, 0 personal fouls on number 23 in white. Jeremiah Tillman avoided foul trouble. Because of that, he can play aggressive throughout the second half, and there hasn't been many games that you can say that this season.
10-point lead for Missouri is their biggest. Tyler Davis lays it in. Certainly for the Aggies, good to have him back on the floor.
He's the heart and soul of the team.
In the 11-point loss in College Station, Missouri did not have a player that scored in double figures. They've got 2 tonight. Jordan Barnett had 11 in the first half. A bucket by Tillman gave him 10. Shot way off. Tillman just picked up his first foul, working hard against Tyler Davis down low.
Yep. Jeremiah Tillman, though, not last possession, but the first possession. Goes up for the offensive rebound. No hesitation. Remember in the first half, he hesitated when he saw Robert Williams there. Didn't do it that time. And then, again, drive baseline, force the defense to have to react. That creates a little bit of a seam and gap to attack, and Tyler Davis runs right down the lane.
A&M turns it over on the inbound. Barnett has his pocket picked by Gilder, but Gilder couldn't hang on.
It's not the strength of Barnett's game to play in the open floor off the bounce. I think he would have been better served to either A, aggressively attack and try to draw the foul, or B, just pick it up and then find a teammate.
Claw marks on the shoulder there. Tyler Davis, a little residual from matchup with Kentucky on Saturday night. A good win for Texas A&M, part of their 4-game win streak. There's a good look for Barnett. Hogue, little hesitation, but got all the way to the rim.
Nobody stepped up. They stepped back. And when you step back, you give up real estate. And Hogue just kept saying, hey, you give me more land, I'm going to continue to take it.
Cullen Van Leer. Starks gets into the lane.
That's where he is at his best, getting into the paint. And as you've seen, here to start the second half, A&M trying to tighten the game up. All of their buckets coming in the paint. Stokes uses upper body strength. He's able to create space. He's more than comfortable shooting over the bigs.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Kay Jewelers. Every kiss begins with K.
at Mizzou Arena in Columbia. 17:40 to play. A 6-0 run by Texas A&M has made it a 4-point game. It's been a quiet night for the back-to-back SEC Player of the Week, Cassius Robertson. 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting. He was 1 of 11 for 7 points against the Aggies when they met at College Station earlier this year.
Yeah, this matchup just has not worked well for him, and he's one of those guys that needs a little bit of space. And when he has it, as you see by the numbers over last week, he can put up huge numbers. I mean, he's in the discussion for Conference Player of the Year. He leads the nation in the Power 5 conferences for graduate transfer points per game.
Robertson 5th in the SEC at 16.6 per game.
Don't you love it when we start talking about a player and then they do something great?
Robertson's had 20 or more in 5 of the last 6 games. Had 16 against Kentucky.
Evidently you don't.
No, I was just paying it off there for you. Love it.
First time they've had back-to-back Player of the Week since Jordan Clarkson, of course, got traded earlier this week. I actually did an interview on my radio show out in Los Angeles with Jordan. He was excited about the opportunity. It disappointed to leave LA, there's no question. But he's got a chance to be in the NBA Finals this year. He's going to get postseason experience, and you saw in Game 1, he was more than comfortable with LeBron James. Going for 17, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc.
And a lot of people thought that the Cavs kind of gave everything away, and then they saw them on the floor. You're like, hold on, they just got really young and really athletic to go along with maybe the best player on the planet.
It's kind of a good combination. I mean, look, the biggest thing for them was chemistry and lack of defense, right?
Deontay Porter. It's been a quiet night for Porter. 2 points.
You just see how loose Hogue was with the ball right there. He just leaves it on his dribble, then just flips it to Admon Gilder. The sense of purpose, the sense of energy, it's got to be able to be sustained if A&M wants to try to crawl back into this game.
Some offense all of a sudden. Gilder with the bucket now from the corner. Robertson might be heating up.
And then a little turn and a little pat on Admon Gilder as he ran up the floor like, I got you twice.
Starks trying to get in the act. Off the mark.
Good defense by Starks.
And he's called for a foul.
The initial stop was really good, and then he gave it up with the foul. But Cassius Robertson on cue. Spent quiet, create space, step back and finish 2 3-pointers from the corner. After this one goes in, he looks at Admon and says, I got you. Tigers got the lead.
Missouri Tigers trying to make it 5 in a row. They're up 8 over Texas A&M, 15-24 to play. Sean Farnham, let's talk Player of the Year candidates in the SEC. Tonight marks 6 games to play for everybody.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this is a collection of them. We could have probably added on 3 or 4 more names because I don't think anybody's really separated themselves by that much. I mean, Daryl Macon's having a great year. You mentioned Jalen Barford, his teammate. Yante Maton, if Georgia was having more success, would be probably the shoe-in to walk away with this thing. Bryce Brown has been injured. Chris Chiozza has been the senior leader for the Florida Gators. Cassius Robertson, the most committed and the one that's streaking at the right time right now for Missouri.
No Colin Sexton on your list. He is, 3rd in the SEC in scoring. No Tyler Davis on the list.
And both of them would be. I mean, that's the thing. Like, in the last couple of years, you could literally look there and say, all right, by now we know it's whittled down to about 3 guys. It's not down to 3 this year, and that speaks to the strength of this conference and why they're going to have a historic NCAA tournament presence.
There's a team in Rocky Top, or on Rocky Top. It's got a guy named Williams that's a pretty good case as well, right?
Yeah, Grant Williams is another guy that if you look at the heart and soul of Rick Barnes' team, I mean, he's had some huge games in conference play. And they took the setback to Alabama. That doesn't diminish what Rick Barnes has done with a team that all of us smart media members picked to finish 13th. Makes us look real good. Hey, by the way, SEC, next year don't ask us. Let's just have the coaches pick.
Tillman picks up his 2nd foul. Tyler Davis to the free throw line.
What a difference in the second half we've seen already. First of all, first free throws of the game for A&M. They're 5 of 7 to start the second half. They went 10 for 31 the entire first half.
That was the first free throw attempt of the game for Texas A&M. Billy Kennedy's done a good job navigating the ups and downs of this season. Really good start to the year. Great win against West Virginia and Germany at the beginning of the season. Injuries, suspensions, an 0-5 start to league play. They've won 6 of their last 7, including 4 in a row.
I would also say this, when you look at who I had on that list, and I think Grant Williams clearly deserves to be on that list as well. They're all upperclassmen. They're all guys that have been around this conference, at least had 1 year in their books outside of Colin Sexton, who you mentioned. Everybody else has experience. And so as much as we fell in love with more top 100 recruits coming into the conference, it hasn't been about the top 100 recruits. It's been about those guys that have been through this before, even this group at Missouri. You know, we came in talking about Michael Porter, and obviously he's the headline guy of last year's recruiting class for the SEC, not just Mizzou. But it's really been about the experienced players, Kevin Puryear, Barnett, Robertson, the transfer, that have paid off for Missouri over the long haul of this season.
The younger Porter with the bucket, Jonte Porter, who should be a senior in high school, reclassified, decided to come play with his brother here at Missouri. Obviously their father, an assistant coach on Cuonzo Martin's staff. It's crazy when you think about the domino effect and how things happen sometime. You get a coaching change at Washington. Obviously, there's a coaching change at Missouri.
Porter, a nice job finishing with that left hand, shielding and protecting the basketball. But you're right. I mean, the dominoes fall, and we're already seeing dominoes fall. We already mentioned Andy Kennedy. And today, Marty Wilson from Pepperdine. The coaching carousel is getting started early this year.
Missouri with a 9-point lead. Michael Porter, senior, working on Cuonzo Martin's staff. There you see a look.
A chance to sit down with the entire Porter family. Of course, his 2 sisters, part of the women's basketball program.
Sierra and Bree playing on the women's team here at Missouri.
One of them, has dealt with a lot of knee injuries, and so she hasn't necessarily participated down the stretch here. But a family that's really tight-knit, and they woke up every morning, they played basketball, they were all homeschooled all the way through. The biggest news right now for Michael Porter, he's got a new puppy. I don't know if you've seen him on his Instagram. Michael Porter's Instagram, I mean, it went from like him walking around with fashion statements, red hats, red shirts, and all that other stuff, and now it's all about his puppy dog, who's got blue eyes. Cute dog, cute puppy. I said, when'd you get him? He goes, about last week.
This was Michael Porter Jr., season opener against Iowa State. Says, I got to come out of the game. Back injury. L3, L4 spinal injury. He did get the 1 bucket. Those are the only points of the season. And then this was before the game tonight. Looking a little better.
And again, he's got to make the right decision for himself. I'm telling you that right now. As much as selfishly I want to cover him in college, I want to celebrate Michael Porter and what he brings. Michael Porter, though, has a bright future at the next level. If he doesn't take the floor this year, he's still an early lottery pick.
They reviewed to make sure that they got it right, and it was indeed touched last by Missouri, so A&M keeps it. There's a foul on Robertson about 38 feet from the bucket.
To Tyler Davis, too, by the way.
Who was kind of backpedaling.
Yeah, not a great foul there. You want the aggressiveness, but again, not an opportunistic foul right there that you could come back later on this game with one-on-one situation and see if A&M's able to force the issue.
Starks finds Trosha Morelos out front. He had a good look, rimmed out.
One goes off of Geist. Or Robertson, rather, excuse me.
Long possession this time for Texas A&M, but nothing to show for it. Aggies, get me right, 1 of 15 from behind the arc.
I'm pretty sure J.D. Rutledge, who's sitting next to you doing stats, could go out on the floor and hit 1 for 15s and 3.
Starks on the drive with the left hand.
I don't understand why you just don't do that every single time. Every single possession, whether it's Gilder, Starks, Williams, Davis. Keep driving, applying the pressure, try to get the foul trouble underneath for Jeremiah Tillman. Part of the reason why Tillman's not in any foul trouble in this game is because A&M settled for everything from beyond the arc.
Gilder picks up a foul away from the ball. Starks on the drive.
Look, a little stutter step, and his upper body strength is really good. His body control, he's not afraid to try to shoot over bigs. I think a big thing for guards is you want to try to get in the big's body and go up through them. In that possession, the other thing is this, mentally, don't worry if your shot gets blocked. Who cares? Most of the time, the shot's going to get blocked. It's going to go out of bounds, and it remains your ball. Too many kids, when they're playing basketball at the youth level, they're afraid of getting their shot blocked because they think that it's an ego thing.
Well, Porter drives down the right side, kisses it off with the left hand. He's got 6.
Good defense that time on Davis. And then they get the foul. That was a great possession for Jontay Porter. Offensively, he drives down the lane and finishes. Defensively, he comes and brings the double, which helps create the steal ball opportunity.
And then the foul on Tyler Davis, his 3rd. Davis was limited in his minutes in the first half, a couple of early fouls.
That time, you remember we showed on the left side where he extended up with his left hand. That time brings the ball back, but still able to figure. But good defense with Jeremiah Tillman. And Tillman, again, playing without using his hands or his body. He's moving his feet tonight. This is the zone they struggled with on the backside, giving up offensive rebounds. Tillman had position underneath. They let him give it up.
Tillman trying to keep it alive inside A&M basketball. 12:27 to play, a 9-point lead for Missouri. 10 has been the biggest advantage. Tenth turnover of the game by Texas A&M. And Sean, maybe half of those turnovers tonight just sloppy, unforced errors if you're playing tennis.
Yeah, I mean, it's just no awareness of what the time on the possession of the clock is or how the flow of the game is going. And that's the thing that's got to be most frustrating for Billy Kennedy's staff. What a pin and seal again.
Tillman couldn't get the roll that time. Got free throws coming up. First, we have an officials timeout coming up in a minute. First, we got free throws. Missouri, a really good free throw shooting team. 3rd overall in the SEC in league games only, almost 79%. Jeremiah Tillman has not been so good, only 48%. Looked pretty good on that first one.
Playing with great confidence tonight. This young man has such a bright future in front of him. I mean, his career is just starting. Bigs always take a little bit longer to make that transition to the college game. As he continues to learn how to play defense the right way, continue to carve out space like he has here tonight, he's going to be a weapon at both ends of the floor for Missouri.
Starks on the drive. Savion Flagg comes up with a loose ball, but then lost it, and Robertson corrals it. Missouri with its biggest lead of the game, up 11.
Kick to Gilder.
Flagg grabs the air ball.
That's just really bad offense for A&M. They're not playing with any sense of purpose. They're not doing anything that they've done really over the last 4 games. Remind you, they had 49 points in 20 minutes versus South Carolina. They have 34 right now and almost 30 minutes into the game.
Tillman left it short, comes up limping a little bit. And Texas A&M takes a timeout. 10:43 to play, an 11-point lead for Missouri, trying to pick up their 5th consecutive win. Jordan Barnett, pretty good night. 13 points. One of the better shooters from deep.
Well, and the combination of Barnett and Tillman have accounted for 25 of the 45 points. And they're 9 of 21 from the field. And Tillman's done such a great job pinning and sealing. Neither one of them, by the way, 2 fouls combined between the two of them. 0 turnovers between the two of them. Both of them have had assists. Both of them have offensive rebounds. They've done a really good job in this game of setting the tone and leading the way for the Tigers tonight. Meanwhile, Robert Williams has now missed his last 4 shots. He started the game 2 for 2. He's now 0 for 4 since then. Tyler Davis only has 2 attempts.
Kind of fun to watch the evolution of Jordan Barnett here at Missouri. Started his career at Texas.
Who is that pass to?
Barnett kicks it off to Geist, gets it back. Baseline jumper.
I mean, you're just giving points away if you're A&M. Savion Flagg, you're falling down the ground. Where is your balance? Who are you passing the ball to? Do you have eye contact with them? That's 12 turnovers on the game now for A&M.
Robert Williams, good look down low.
He finally caught the ball down low. The first time in a while he's played with his back to the basket and carved out position to post up and get the ball. Jonte Porton, doesn't matter where he catches the ball, he's just knocking down shots right now. He's up to 9.
14 points lead for Missouri. DJ Hogue, long 3.
Good answer right back by DJ Hogue. His first made 3 of the game.
Robertson now in double figures. Robert Williams lost his shoe. Referee flipped it to him, put it back on. And now he rejoins the game action. Gilder on the drive, draws the contact. Thursday night on ESPN, it's a Pac-12 showdown with number 17 Arizona, number 25 Arizona State. 9 Eastern, 6 o'clock on the West Coast on ESPN. Streaming live on the ESPN app. Bobby Hurley looking for his first win against Arizona. 0-5 as the head coach at Arizona State.
That's going to be a fun one out west. You got Dave Pash and some guy, I think his name's Bill. Does he call the games? Bill does those games, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, okay. So Bill will be there. So you know it's going to be entertaining. And it's going to be great basketball. I think a lot of times people on the East Coast and they don't stay up late and watch a lot of those West Coast hoops. There's some good teams out there. Those are 2 of the best that they have on the West this year. St. Mary's and Gonzaga would be the other 2.
I was going to say, not just in the Pac-12. You go to the West Coast Conference as well. I know you had those 2 teams on Saturday night.
And I saw the Zags play as well as they've played all season long. Their defense was stifling against Jock Landale, who's one of the best players in the country.
What are they at? 22 straight road wins in conference play?
Yep. They snapped the 19-game win streak. That, oh, what a block by Tillman. Whew. They snapped the 19-game win streak by St. Mary's.
Hurrier.
Who has the longest win streak in the country? East Tennessee State University, 16 consecutive games. Steve Forbes and the guys.
Team.
How about the block by Tillman, though? Help side rotation. Again, when you're not in foul trouble, you can be overly aggressive. See, when he gets in foul trouble, even if he doesn't foul out of the game, when you get in foul trouble early, you become a little bit more passive, a little bit more careful about what you do. He's playing free tonight, and he's playing great.
Kevin Purrier at the free throw line. He's got 3 points tonight. Purrier, he was the hero on Saturday, an overtime win against Mississippi State. Purrier hit the 3 from the corner. And when he hit that shot, it snapped an 0 for 12 streak from behind the arc. Keep shooting him, big fella.
Point lead from Missouri. It feels like it should be more, right? I mean, it's a sizable lead, especially considering how A&M's played offensively. But the game kind of has a feel like it's a 20-point lead right now.
DJ Hogue trying to find another one. Offensive rebound by Gilder. Found some space and got the bucket. He's got 11. we are tied up by Chris Collins. A&M will get the possession. And we'll take a timeout. 10-point lead for the Missouri Tigers.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile.
Back with you at Mizzou Arena. Folks in black and gold have got something to smile about right now. 10-point lead for the Tigers over Texas A&M. Joe Lunardi got Missouri as a team in the field right now.
Well, both these teams are comfortably in. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a debate what happens down the stretch. They both have to completely reverse course from where they've been to not make the tournament field. A&M, obviously, it's benefited from the fact of a great non-conference schedule. You look at Alabama, more top 25 wins they've ever had in a single season in program history. Avery Johnson's team really playing some good basketball. Arkansas looked like it was cruising to a victory tonight down at Ole Miss. And I still think you look out for Mississippi State. I know they had the lead here, and then they gave it up. And good opportunity, Kevin Purrier knocked down that three-pointer in the corner. But Ben Howland's team's been playing really well, and it's not just Quindary Weatherspoon. Nick Weatherspoon's made a huge difference on that team.
Well, the addition of Abdul Adu as well has given them a little better post defense this year. Another one coming up for you after this. South Carolina visits number 18 Tennessee when we're done here in Missouri. Tennessee trying to bounce back from a 28-point loss at Coleman Coliseum over the weekend. Richard Cross, Sean Farnham with you tonight in Como. Tyler Davis, he thought about it and then thought better of it. Starks on the drive. Jontay Porter pushed it up the floor and then find Tillman. He draws the foul.
What a great job running rim to rim by Jeremiah Tillman. He has all the makings, and him and Jontay Porter are going to be such a formidable duo next year. But you just watched Tillman and where he's at the center of the floor and how he just sprints by everybody. Look at how he shifted to another gear. Outstanding job by the freshman.
And Jontay Porter immediately looked at him and said, "My bad," because the pass was a little behind him instead of getting out in front.
It's a monster dunk. It's an N1 mixtape. I jump over the top of the table. I scream. I yell. I get excited. Instead, I just talked about how good he runs. He ran well. No, really good play.
1 of 2 at the line for Tillman. 13 points for the freshman Jeremiah Tillman.
The defense of Missouri has frustrated A&M beyond belief. I mean, Admon Gilder now continues to turn the ball over. That's his 4th turnover of the game, and all 4 of them were rushed and hurried passes.
All right, so in your mind, how much of Texas A&M being out of sync offensively is a result of the absence of Dwayne Wilson?
Well, they're missing his leadership. I'll tell you that. I mean, the young man was playing with a partially torn ACL. So they're missing his leadership out on the floor without question. And he's a stabilizing force. If Starks is struggling and Starks is not having the same kind of night that he's been having over the last 5 games, it's really difficult. You're putting Collins in a role he hasn't been in all season long.
Collins, a good shooter. Overshot that one, though. Porter finds a little space at the free throw line.
How about this? Missouri is plus 12 on turnovers, points off of turnovers in this game.
Gilder off the miss, knocks out a 3. And Sean, it goes back to your point for a little while. It's an 8-point game. It's into single digits. In a game that it feels like Missouri's really outplayed Texas A&M.
Great movement without the ball along the baseline. What happens defensively, Richard, if you're watching the ball, you lose vision of where your man is at. And Cassius Robertson did an outstanding job moving without the ball. Starks was late in his recovery to try to get back. By the time he caught it, there's nothing he could do. And again, Jontay Porter showing off the entire skill set. His feel for the game, his awareness, his passing ability from the outside, sensational.
Jontay Porter was one of the more highly thought of juniors in high school going into this, well, after last season. He was supposed to be playing his senior year of high school. Reclassified, he's here, and you see a skill set that's getting better and better as the season goes along. Robert Williams on to work inside, and he's fouled by Purrier.
And I want to stay on Jontay Porter. His body has changed even from where it was in October, early January to where it is now. When talking to the strength and conditioning coach, they were talking about how he's continued to work on just redistribution of the weight. And when you're that young, you still have some of that softness to you. And now he's starting to get stronger with the time spent in the weight room, and he looks great. He's moving better out on the floor. Jontay Porter has been a huge part of Missouri's success this season, and his continued work ethic is going to only take him higher and higher.
Softness. Nice way of saying baby fat?
Yes.
You just didn't want to say baby fat.
No, just trying to find different words. You know, we talked about this on a conference call last week about breaking out a thesaurus and not just saying great every single time or certain things. Like that pass was poor. There's other words I could use to describe it.
Well, spin move by Geist. He finds Porter.
Place would have erupted if that shot goes down.
Now in transition, Starks finds a three. That's a big sequence.
A huge sequence. It's down to 6. It's a 2-possession game right now. A&M has not played well, but they're clawing their way back in.
Porter catches at the free throw line, left it short, and now Gilder wants to push it. Does not have numbers.
That's a travel.
Oh, that's a tough pass into the post. Starks for three. Got another one. A 3-point game. Konzo Martin takes a timeout.
All the threes that weren't going down all of a sudden start falling in consecutive possessions for Texas A&M, and it's a 3-point game. The kick out, Starks able to knock it down, and then ball reversal action, a long run out from the block. Back-to-back threes for Starks, and it's down to 3.
3-point lead for Missouri, 4:18 to play. When we finish here in Columbia, we'll send you to Knoxville. Grant Williams and the Tennessee Vols. What a season the sophomore Williams is having, hosting South Carolina. Tennessee at 8-4 in league play. It's been a tough year for the Gamecocks. 13-12 overall, 4-8 in league play.
Yeah, and really instability at their guard position. Chris Silva means so much to Frank Martin's team, but he's going to be tested tonight because there might not be a team that plays harder in and out of every single possession than the Tennessee Volunteers.
4:18 to play with 9:22 to go. Missouri led by 13. The Aggies are on an 8-0 run, and a team that was 1 of 15 from behind the arc to start this game has made its last 3 threes. Big part of the reason why Sean T.J. Starks, he's been so good over the last 5 games, averaging 15 a game. 12 of his 14 points have come in this second half.
Well, and we mentioned his numbers in the first half, but Starks shooting 58% from beyond the arc over the 5 games in which he has started. He got off to an extremely slow start here in the first half, but now 2 for 2 in the last couple of possessions, and all of a sudden it's a 1-possession game, and now you got better life defensively. The shot clock under 10.
Purrier bumps down low, missed the shot, no whistle, and Gilder comes away with the rebound.
You don't want to get a heat check here for T.J. Starks. You have to be patient.
Both of these teams have got some confidence, both riding 4-game win streaks coming in. Geist comes away with it. Barnett has it stripped. Hogue for the tie. Texas A&M ball.
Good job defensively by Starks to get back. An errant pass to T.J. Hogue on that previous possession. Turn the ball over. Don't give up on the play. Stay with it. Get back and get the possession back for the Aggies.
And a couple of times tonight you've talked about in the open floor, Jordan Barnett, not the guy you want handling. He gets his pocket picked.
Right. And I think, again, just know your strengths and weaknesses as a player. Pick the ball up, find a guard, and get it back to him. Then space out and try to get your catch and shoot shot.
Hogue lost the handle. Geist couldn't find anybody. He finds Barnett for three.
Big rebound by Robert Williams.
You like the shot there by Barnett?
Yes, because that's his shot. And he is a catch and shoot three guy. We saw it in the first half. They went down. That time it doesn't.
Williams working against Jontay Porter. Banks at home, and they've got a 1-point game.
Good awareness and sprint up, but you've got a mismatch on the floor right now in the zone. You've got to talk better defensively at the top. Nobody's on Cassius Robertson.
Porter wide open at the free throw line. He found that soft spot.
And one more pass to Jeremiah Tillman. That's a dunk.
Starks. Porter with a big rebound.
Okay, so in the zone, if you get the ball to the high post right now, because they're so spread out on the wings, you've got to quickly look to the opposite big.
Inside 2 minutes to play. Robertson with a big shot off the window.
Everybody on their feet here.
.16 for Cassius Robertson and a timeout taken by Texas A&M.
Great spatial awareness by Cassius Robertson on that possession. You get the on-ball screen, you flare out, you get the ball passed back to you. And the back line of the defense has been slow all night long for A&M. You beat the first guy off, and then Tyler Davis slowing his rotations over.
Richard Cross, Sean Farnham with you in Columbia, Missouri. A 3-point lead for the Missouri Tigers tonight following the Virginia-Miami game on ESPN. Tune into SportsCenter with Linda Cohn and John Anderson. They'll have Tim Legler break down the new-look Cavs defense against OKC. Plus the Greek Freak makes a long-distance wish come true. And Tiger tees it up in Riviera for the Genesis Open this week. What he says will be different about his game. It's SportsCenter, 11 Eastern on ESPN and on the ESPN app.
And I think I saw the pairings. It's going to be Rory McIlroy, Justin Thomas, and Tiger Woods together.
That's watchable.
Yeah, I'll tune in and check that out.
No question about it. So, 3-point ball game. This is not by any stretch been a game that's been a work of art offensively. But 92 seconds to play. It's a one-possession game, and it feels like just another night in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, this is over 25% of the games in conference play have ended with one possession. I mean, this is how competitive this league is. That's why there's 8 teams, according to Joe Lunardi. I think 9 will end up getting in.
4 wins in a row for Texas A&M, 4 wins in a row for Missouri. Both teams sitting at a 17-8 overall mark. Step back from the elbow for Hogue. It's a 1-point game.
They shift back to the man-to-man defense after they got burned in the zone a couple of times. I like the adjustment by Billy Kennedy here to go to the man. You got to be able to defend the on-ball screen.
Minute to play.
Got to help down low.
Tillman. Back tap by Hogue. But a foul called on DJ Hogue.
And not a bad foul given the free throw percentage. However, Jeremiah Tillman's been great at the line tonight.
Tillman 5 of 7 from the free throw line. 2 shots this time for Tillman.
But the percentages tell you that's the guy you would want to foul.
No question. 48% on the year coming into this game, and he makes the first. How about that? 6 of 8. And they've all mattered. Anxious time in Mizzou Arena for the second consecutive home game. It was overtime against Mississippi State. They led by 12 with a minute 37 to play on Saturday, and the game went to overtime.
I'm good for overtime. We're going to DJ Hogue. They're going to run the same play. Poor pass that time by Gilder. Good defense by Barnett to close out.
We'll see how it shakes out. Texas A&M did not play for a 2-for-1 there, down 2. At a 14-second difference, or excuse me, a 20-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock, and the officials will take a look to make sure who touched it last.
Well, this gives time for Billy Kennedy to set something up if he wants to go different. I would not be surprised in this if he brings Tyler Davis up and tries to set a screen for TJ Starks and create space for Starks to get to the middle of the paint and then try to either facilitate or elevate up and finish in the middle. He's really comfortable there, but the freshman better be secure with the basketball. At times tonight, he's gotten too loose with it.
Tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN2, it's the crossover. Just like last season, college announcers headed to the NBA. NBA guys going back to college. I'll get started at 7 Eastern with Virginia Tech and Duke. That's where Hubie Brown and Jay Billis will be. At 8 on ESPN, Mark Jackson, Dickie V with the Clippers and Celtics. 9 Eastern, Kentucky and number 10 Auburn. That's PJ Carlissimo and Dan Dockich. And then Doris Burke and Bill Walton for the Warriors and the Trailblazers.
Always important to note that you have collaborative review system now in the SEC. Talking back to the home offices in Birmingham, Alabama. Try to coordinate and make sure that this is the right call. Did it go off of DJ Hogue after it hit Barnett? The way Barnett reacted, I don't think that it did. But part of the problem is that DJ's hands clap together.
He kind of pulls back from it. See if you can tell if it redirects there.
I mean, does it hit the top of his finger?
If it does, it's a fingernail, right?
Yeah.
Keep it on the offensive end for Texas A&M.
Pat Adams said they looked at it, they were confident that it was going that direction.
Terry Oglesby, Pat Adams, James Breeding. Guys in the striped shirts tonight. A late arriving crowd tonight, but it's turned into a big crowd at Mizzou Arena. And the hometown Tigers clinging to a 2-point lead.
Here's that on-ball screen I was talking about.
Starks. Shot clock at 5. Gilder back to Starks. Lost the handles. Got to hurry. And it is a shot clock violation.
That was great defense by Missouri. They were swarming. They were quick. And they were on balance.
16th turnover of the game by Texas A&M.
I don't know what the officials are talking about at midcourt.
And we have another review.
And the only possible thing that they could be talking about is time left to go on the clock. We had our final minute of the game the other night, Auburn and Texas A&M. It was 23 minutes in length. We had 4 reviews. I'm all for reviews, and I'm all for getting it right. And I'm not saying that this crew is not doing it right. All right? But you look at the clock, yeah, 20.9 is probably what should be on a 20.4. 20.4. 20.4 should be what's on the clock. So I'm all for getting this right. But 23 minutes for a final minute of a basketball game is a little excessive.
Agreed. 2 thumbs up. I'm right there with you. All right, so pretty clear. It should be 20.4 on the clock. That's where the clock was when the shot clock buzzer went off. I think you had the whistle from the official that came not quite a second later. That's what stopped the clock. So they will, or they should make the adjustment. It's going to be Missouri basketball up to
Well, they put in Tony Trocha-Morelos, and I tell you what they do that really, he gets on the ball. They put it 20.6, by the way. Usually they put him on the ball, and instead they're going to put Robert Williams. He's going to be the safety net.
20.6 is what they put on the clock. That's what they determined should have been on the clock when the shot clock expired. You mentioned Tony Trocha-Morelos coming into this ball game. He has a 7-foot, 4.5-inch wingspan.
Yeah, so on this press here, you have enough time where you can kind of try to trap, see if you can create a turnover opportunity.
Porter gets it into Cassius Robertson. Ball on the ground. A&M's got it. Feed down low. Robert Williams.
Oh, my gosh.
And a foul by Texas A&M. What a sequence, and what an opportunity missed for the Aggies.
What a pass over the top. First of all, the execution. Geist never even got his hands on it. They throw it out. They're taking negative steps. Pogue sees Williams over the top. I didn't think he needed to shoot that shot when he did. I think he could have come down with it and then utilized his size to finish over Geist, but instead he goes up with it right away, and it just rims out.
And now Jontay Porter at the free throw line. If he makes them both, it's a two-possession game. Aggies will take a timeout.
What a finish. I mean, I love the SEC this year. Every game, this is what you get. It's chaotic, it's crazy. Sometimes it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's fun.
All-important second free throw coming up for Jontay Porter when we get finished here in Columbia. Frank Booker in South Carolina trying to steal one on the road tonight. Booker averaging a little better than 11 points per game this season for Frank Martin's Gamecocks. Thompson-Boling Arena has turned into a tough environment this year for road teams.
That's because the quality of the team that Rick Barnes has. I mean, everybody says a tough environment. Hey, by the way, this building's a lot tougher than it was the last couple of years, too.
No
Why
question.
is that? Well, people want to come out. They want to watch a good product. A&M on Saturday was absolutely insane when Kentucky showed up.
Freshman Jontay Porter at the free throw line. Second free throw coming on the year. He's a 79% shooter. Only his second attempt tonight makes it a two-possession game. Pogue pulls up, little contact, falls to the floor, missed the shot, tipped around. A jump ball with 0.2 of a second remaining. Missouri is going to win tonight at home.
A great win for Missouri, who's trying to position themselves extremely well in St. Louis.
5 in a row in the SEC for the Missouri Tigers. A 4-point win. It was not easy, but a good win for Cuonzo Martin's team.
Didn't expect it to be easy because both of these teams are so good at the defensive end of the floor, but the poise and the composure of Missouri better than that in which we saw out of Texas A&M, earning them the victory.
4-point win for Missouri. The Tigers now 18-8 on the year. They are 8-5 in the SEC. Texas A&M has a 4-game win streak snapped. They fall a game below 500 in league play. They're 6-7. All the metrics you look at with Texas A&M make you think they're still in good shape for the NCAA tournament.
Oh, Texas A&M's fine. After what they've just done the last 4 games prior to this one, they're absolutely fine. It's one game. You don't want to allow this to linger and have a hangover effect and you lose your way. Look at their defense and some of the areas that they can clean up there, and then also valuing the basketball and shot selection, in particular in the first half.
Cassius Robertson is going to join us courtside here in Columbia. 62-58, the final tonight, as Missouri wins its 5th in a row at home. Or excuse me, improves to 12-2 at home this year. They win their 5th in a row in the SEC. Richard Cross, Sean Farnham with you tonight from Mizzou Arena. We're now joined by Cassius Robertson, who has won SEC Player of the Week the last 2 weeks in a row. And Cassius, big win for you guys tonight. Slow start for you individually in this game, big second half.
Yeah, I mean, I'm never really worried. Our guys were, we were winning the game at halftime, so I wasn't really worried about how I was playing. I knew shots were going to fall eventually. But they're a tough team. They're coming in ranked. They've won 4 in a row as well, so we knew it was going to be a tough fight. So, we got it done, though.
The thing that stands out to me, collectively, the defensive end of the floor, your identity of this team is there. What do you feel like are the keys to that identity for your continued success?
It's really based on helping the helper and helping each other. When we're helping each other and screaming at each other, calls and stuff like that, when we're talking, communicating, we're really a crazy defensive team. We held them to 21 points in the first half. We kind of let up in the second half, but we had a really good defensive first half. But yeah, it's really just about helping each other.
How do you describe, Cassius, the identity of this Missouri team right now?
I would say one word is toughness. Coach Martin has instilled that in us since July. We've come down the stretch. This is the second game in a row where it's been like this. We've really learned how to be tough down the stretch and in crunch time.
Jeremiah Tillman avoids foul trouble tonight. When he's out of foul trouble, he's a completely different player. How important is that for your guys' success? Obviously, it was important tonight, but now moving forward for this team, that he continues to improve in that area to avoid fouls.
Yeah, for sure. It's a different game when he's on the floor, especially tonight. Big boys like, Tyler Davis and Robert Williams, we needed to box them out, and we did a good job, keeping them from going off. And that was a big reason because of our bigs. Jeremiah was staying on the floor, and he made some big plays on the offensive end, some good free throws. He's just all around great tonight.
Cassius, can't help but ask you about your journey. Your red shirt as a freshman, the time at Canisius, now you come in as a grad transfer and have become one of the better players in the SEC. When you kind of think big picture about where you are, what do you take away?
I mean, that's a tough question. I mean, I'm trying to become a better player every game. Improve my game every single game and every single practice. I'm really just trying to be out here and get wins. That's my main focus, and it's a dream to play in the tournament. Obviously, for me, coming from small schools, we don't really get that chance sometimes. It's been so fun just to come out here and play on this stage with this crowd and compete with these guys.
And I was going to ask you this crowd, because the Missouri fans have really rallied around this team. Do you guys feel that on the floor?
Yeah, for sure. When we're fighting and we're competing, I think they're right in with it with us. So they're a huge part. That's why we're so good at home, because we have that support, and I hope they keep coming out.
12-2 at home this season. Congratulations, great win tonight.
Thank you.
That's Cassius Robertson. He is the reigning SEC Player of the Week and has done that the last 2 weeks. Coming up next, you got more SEC basketball from Knoxville, Tennessee. Admiral Schofield and the Tennessee Volunteers hosting South Carolina. Know you've seen this Tennessee team, Sean, this year. What jumps out for you about Tennessee?
Well, first and foremost, Missouri now goes to 8-5, so Tennessee's got to continue to win the game to continue to move up the standings overall. But I think when you look at Tennessee, this is a team that plays as tough and as physical for every single possession that you see. It takes on the identity of Rick Barnes. And Admiral Schofield and Grant Williams are the heart and soul of that team. And when they are playing tough and physical underneath, blocking shots, getting out in the open floor, they're as good as any team in the SEC.
All right, wrapping it up here. Missouri comes away with a win tonight. What's your final takeaway?
They're really good defensively. They took Texas A&M out of complete rhythm at the offensive end of the floor, and then they picked and choose their moments offensively to execute. As they continue to evolve there and Jeremiah Tillman stays out of foul trouble, this is a team that's going to advance in the NCAA tournament.
Missouri a winner tonight, 62-58 at home over Texas A&M. Another big night for Cassius Robertson. Coming up next, the Tennessee Vols and the South Carolina Gamecocks. Good night from Columbia, Missouri.